Crafty Fox came about because I make jewellery myself, and about a year ago I found myself regularly travelling to East London, North London on the weekends to sell at markets, and I was just baffled by the lack of selling opportunities in South London on my own doorstep, and it really just started from there. A bit of a light bulb moment on a bus on the way to Stoke Newington one day, going, why am I doing this? So yeah, I decided to start Crafty Fox, and it was way more successful than we had really anticipated. We were kind of hoping for about 200 people at our first market, and had more than 800 last Christmas, and then subsequently had 1,500 at the Easter market. So it's taken off in a way that we hadn't really anticipated, but obviously that's a good thing. So we've learned lots along the way. It's really been a journey. Met lots of fantastic and interesting people. When it comes to the kind of selection procedures that we have, because of the popularity of Crafty Fox, it has become very heavily oversubscribed. So for our Christmas markets, we actually ended up turning down over 100 people. And there were around 80 spaces available, so we had just under 200 applications. So I mean, I quickly realised that I needed the help of some friends to help me make these difficult decisions. I mean, it's really really is challenging when you've got kind of minimal information to work off and you need to select people. So I mean, the first thing to bear in mind is that it's a very quick decision, because we're sitting there with like 200 applications to go through, so we have to be in a position to make snappy decisions. The panel that I refer to were friends who are big fans of Crafty Fox and who come along and buy things, most importantly. They're the customers, and they've got different tastes to me, which I think is also important, because obviously it's catering to quite a varied audience, so we have to make sure that there are things there that will appeal to lots of different types of people. So I mean, we go through all the applications. On our forums, we ask for quite basic details. We always ask for photos, imagery, and whether that's a link to a website, or if somebody doesn't have a web presence, that's fine, but we ask them to send photographs through. And it's really important that those photos can be accessed easily and are of good quality. Sometimes it's just such a shame. I've had people that I've turned down from our market before, and I've seen them then at other events, and I've been really impressed by their items, but maybe the photos that they sent through were dark or didn't show their product clearly. So I think it's really important that you try and get good quality photography that will show off your products as well as possible. Also, sometimes you need to kind of make it easy for the market that you're applying to, whether that's having a very clearly laid out website, or if I ask for a website, sometimes people just send through a link to a blog, and that's fine, but it maybe doesn't have their products on it. So I can go to their blog and I can see maybe a bit of what they're about, but unless I dig quite deeply, I can't see what they're actually selling and how much it costs. So sometimes, when you're dealing with 200 applications, that gets passed over, which again can be a bit of a wasted opportunity for people. So my advice on that front is to definitely make sure that you've got a clear representation of your product to send through, whether that's on a website or simply by emailing with photos. Sometimes as well, people send through photos of their actual market stall, what they've done at other events, and they might send a couple of product shots and a product or a photo of a market stall that they've done before, and sometimes that's really nice to see actually, because obviously that's what they're applying for, and it gives me a sense of what their stall might look like at our event. And I mean, obviously the quality of the products is a key factor. You have to start with good quality products, because there's such competition really. We are in a position where we're fortunate enough to be able to pick and choose. So high quality products that are well made and well priced as well. Price is also a very key element. We need to make sure that, say for example, somebody might apply who makes beautiful pottery or glassware, but it's maybe £100 a piece. I can be fairly sure that somebody walking into Crafty Fox, which is effectively a market in a pub, they're probably not going to have £100 in their pocket. So I wouldn't be confident, even though that person's stuff might be beautiful and really high quality, I wouldn't be confident that Crafty Fox would be the right marketplace for them. So sometimes it is just a case of, you know, beautiful products but the wrong events. So you've got to find the right events to suit your products as well, I think. It's a good, you know, I think there's so many different craft events around now, and they're popping up all the time, and I think they all have their own unique kind of flavour, and they attract different audiences that are, you know, in different places. Like a kind of high-end art market in Dulwich is going to attract a different audience to Crafty Fox in Brixton, and I think we've got to bear that in mind and kind of know our audience when we're selecting stallholders as well. So yeah, I think that's the main kind of things that we look for. It's really, yeah, so just to kind of recap, it's about making sure that you are very, very clear in your application, that you provide as much information as possible, provide all the bits of information that are asked for, and just try and sell yourselves in the best light, you know, try and provide that bit of extra information and you know, get across the beautiful nature of your products and your own passion for them, and you know, that's the best that you can do. And try not to be too disheartened as well if you get turned on. I know it's awful, I've been turned on myself for loads of markets, and it's hard not to take it personally, and particularly with very popular things like jewellery. I mean, for example, for every jewellery stand at our market, we have 10 to 15 applications. And cards as well, jewellery and cards. There's so many people making those items that it's you know, very, very competitive. And sometimes if you make a slightly quirkier product, you've maybe got a bit more of an edge because there's not 10 different people making that one thing. So don't be too disheartened and give it a go.
Great. Well,